The only announcement I would add to what Mickey just said is turn off your cell phones. All right? And this is a program about honoring the earth, preserving the earth, caring for the earth from many perspectives. I'm going to do a salutation to the moon from yoga, and Jim Ritchie is going to sing a hymn that comes from Matthew, Christ's Sermon on the Mount. So it's a combination of Christian thought and I think it's very ecumenical, and we need everyone working together to save the earth, which is what we're all trying to focus on now. And then Evie Jacobs is going to lead us in a chant and a dance from the Hopi Indians of Southwest United States, and they are known for gardening in the same spots for years. I mean, they're the ones who live in the cliffs, and they really are concerned about protecting their soil and fertilizing and knowing how to grow in an absolutely arid climate. But actually, all the indigenous people of the United States had practices that fit with the situation in their area. My son is property manager from Delaware Nature Society, and so he wanted to take away invasive plants by lighting fires. And he got the outdoor fire training that the state of Delaware gives. And he told me last year that in the fire training, I have the microphone under my chin. In the fire training, they were told about Verrazano, who sailed down the coast of America and wrote in his captain's log that they saw many fires in various locations as they came along. And in studying what Verrazano recorded, people now realize that indigenous Americans were clearing out the undergrowth and refertilizing the soil by having burns. And one of the reasons we can't do that is we have these big houses that are in the way, but they just had very movable villages and could burn an area and then come back and live there in a little while. And so it all worked very well for them. But back to Evie, because I wanted to tell you that she is a music person, a dance person, a yes, piano, and that she and Al is 74 years now. So a very happy, supportive relationship. So, okay. So Evie is going to do her salutation, the earth is our mother, and we're all going to join her. But I'm going to tell you, first of all, before I go into doing the salutation to the moon, one of the reasons that I have been very interested in what's happening to the earth is I have been aware of it for a very long time. And that's because I came from West Virginia, which at the time when I was young had it had it had industry, but not the kind of big industrial things. So almost everyone in the community that I lived in were farmers, though there were oil wells that had been drilled, but nothing that was real polluting. When I was 4, we moved up to Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. And if you know geography and where Pittsburgh is, and the fact that Pittsburgh at that time was the Smoky City, and they were making iron and steel for years there. And when I was about 7, my dad was bringing the car over to pick us up, and my mother and brothers and I were waiting, and my mother, it had snowed the day before. My mother looked down at the ground, and she said, "Look at that black snow." When I was young, growing up in West Virginia, we would wait till we had a deep snowfall, and then when the snow stopped, we would take a big, clean bowl and go out and collect the snow, and during the summer, they would have made strawberry juice, blackberry juice, raspberry juice, and they would enjoy what we would call a snow cone. And she looked down at the snow, and I still remember this. She said, "I certainly wouldn't eat this snow." And I'm like, I'll never eat it either. So that was when, as I said, when I was 7. But the next story is a little bit more serious than that, because when I was 9, still living in that same place outside of McKeesport, Pennsylvania, and proud of the fact that I could read headlines and stories in newspapers, Donora, Pennsylvania, suffered from an inversion. And Donora's on the Monongahela River Valley. And it had zinc mill and an iron and steel work too, and also a lot of smoke from river boats and things like that. And in October, there was an inversion. The air in Donora, there was cold air, but it was trapped under warm air. So for days, the air did not clear out. And so the pollution just built up, and babies and older people died. 20 individuals. But it happened, and at that time, if it was local news, it was headline news for days. And so I would come home, and it was 2 babies, and it went on for a long time. And I remember saying, "Oh, isn't that terrible, those poor people?" And then that summer, we were remember going out for drives on Sunday, and my dad said, "Here's the road to Donora. Let's go see that." And we did. And the road we were on was at the top of the hill for a long way. And as I said, the valley was very deep down to the river. And as a little girl looking out the back, I was in the back seat, I remember, and we're riding along, and the adults aren't explaining, now that's the Monongahela River down there. It looked like it was a little stream. And then as an adult, I was telling this story, and I said, "There's a little stream," and I'm like, wait a minute, because It was the Monongahela River that's one of the big tributaries that meets in Pittsburgh and forms the Ohio. And it was wide enough that coal barges could pass each other. You know, two ships, barge ships, could pass each other in the river. And I'm thinking, oh, it's a little tiny stream down there. But when we finally, and it's long, narrow, and as we were approaching Donora, all the trees from the very top of the hill, those trees, the hills, I mean, you know, because it was going along, the hills, and we were up there. And the trees where we were green, but the whole hillside going all the way down to the water was brown. All the trees were dead. And you just thought, oh my goodness, this is what happened here is just incredible. Well, when they had the hearing in Donora, the people who were the managers at the iron and steel places and everything, they were like, we want to protect our work. The men are living here because they need jobs. And so naturally, it wasn't anything that they did at their work. It was the smoke coming off the riverboats. That's what caused this. But after that, David Lawrence was the mayor of Pittsburgh. And they put in smoke control. But do you know what their smoke control was? Taller smokestacks. So the smoke went up, it was caught by the prevailing winds, and guess what they had up in New England? Acid rain. That was the solution for the smoke in Allegheny County. Acid rain in New England. Another story that I remember from my childhood that has to do with animals. When I was 12, I was at my grandmother's house when my birthday came. And so I came back, my mother had saved my birthday cards, and I was opening them up with her sitting beside me, and one of them was a bluebird. And my mother said, I haven't seen a bluebird. I can't remember when I last saw a bluebird. But I'm like, what? They're real? Because they were the little cute birds in Walt Disney movies and in the Song of the South and all those, you know, cute little things. I thought they were like unicorns. I had never seen one, and I thought they just made them up and had them flying around and doing cute little things. Well, when people investigated what was going on, that we didn't have as many bluebirds, they realized that the English sparrow had been brought over to America, and that English sparrows are aggressive birds and were going to nesting bluebird houses. Well, actually, before this happened, that people said, what's happening to the bluebirds, people weren't putting up bluebird houses. And bluebirds had to look for a natural hole in a tree. Well, the English sparrows were more aggressive, and they would find those holes, and the bluebird population had really plummeted. But then they started putting up bluebird houses and saying to people, do not let English sparrows take over the houses, and it worked. And so by the time I was a little older, we moved to a house in another county that had open area. We put up bluebird houses and watched the bluebirds, and I had them at my own house until I moved here. And you have bluebird supporters around here, raise your hand. But you have to make sure that you don't let an English sparrow take over a bluebird house. But we have to move along here because I'm talking too much. And now let's go, Rosie, to we have what I'm going to do, that's the Hindu, and she's going to start from the beginning of that. So they're changing the image. And this, okay, what I'm going to do is the Salute to the Moon. And I learned this going to the Academy of Lifelong Learning in Philadelphia, that's now the Osher Institute. And when the year that I moved here, okay, no, we're not going to start yet singing yet. I'm going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to sing that. But go back to that. Yes, put that back up again. Number 1. It's a salutation to the moon, and it's, as we said, it's what they do in yoga, and the reason that they teach it at Academy of Lifelong Learning is that it's easier to do, and you can keep doing it all your life. So if you enjoy yoga and you're over 50 or whatever age, they recommend doing it. So yes, put up the first one and keep moving, okay? So it starts out, and the words here come from a Protestant hymn because it's Christ's Sermon on the Mount, and it's found in Matthew chapters 5 to 7. It's when he really says a lot of things, and it has after it talks about how God loves everyone, and it's called Abundant Grace instead of Amazing Grace, the hymn is. So, and what they're doing is the half moon to the left, and then you do the half moon to the right, second one, go ahead, move along. Half moon to the right, and this is what Jesus is teaching about, that God comforts those who grieve and mourn, that they may mourn no more, and keep going. The next one, go ahead. Blessed be the lowly meek, all earth they do receive, is the earth goddess. And you do this so that you do all the movements to one side and then to the next one. Okay, and happy are the hungry ones, at God's table they feed, and go on to the next one. Okay, and blessed are the merciful, for they receive all grace. And the next, and by the way, every time when I would catch a spider and take it outside or something like that, I felt, okay, I'm merciful. And then this was very interesting because this is what Jimmy Carter said when there was someone in an Eric Swalwell position when he was president. He quoted, "And blessed are the pure of heart, for they see God's true face." Well, do you see what's wrong with this posture as you're doing it? You are saying that, and what are you seeing? Your foot. So I was like, I don't know about, okay. But anyway, that's what I think of when I do this, because it says God's true face, and your neck is supposed to be leaning down looking at your foot. We're going to say more about that later. Okay? And keep going. Blessed be the peacemakers, children of God are they. And this is another Jimmy Carter quote. And what he was talking about was that he had had the Camp David Accords. And he was proud that he had brought peace years ago in the Middle East. Well, as you know, that peace did not last forever. And so now we have, what comes around or goes around comes around again. And again, we're worried about peace in the Middle East. But Jimmy Carter quoted this verse when that happened before. And the next verse, I think, is very interesting. This is the middle of it. But when you think about people being righteous, another quote that Jesus said was, "Judge not, that ye be not judged." And so when I think of someone saying people should not get abortions or whatever, they are saying, I don't believe in this, that's all right. For yourself is what I think, but that you shouldn't be saying, oh, that person is doing abortions, I'm going to go out and shoot them. No, you shouldn't do that. Okay, then it goes to the other side, and I love this, because now he's talking about the natural world, which is what we're also concerned about. And this is the translation, "Behold the birds that fill the sky." Well, when I was young, there were chimney swifts, there were barn swallows, there were cliff swallows, all kinds of birds that were just zooming across the sky, catching food as they flew. Go out and look up at the sky we have now, and you're not going to see all those. And this is what is happening now, okay? And this is the same position that I was laughing about, because on the other side it's saying you can see God's face, but now it's one of the most beautiful positions, because you're saying that you can align your body the way the birds do, and so you're just letting your neck hang down and you're just leaning forward down like that, and it feels so wonderful. So I have different thoughts on different sides of my body. And then go to the next one, because this, I think, is one of the most interesting passages, not only in this, in the song, I love this, "Behold the lilies of the field," but also this is a short version of what's actually in Matthew, where it says, "Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, and yet I say to you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these." And I think that's such a deeper way of talking about how God cares for even little things. Jesus goes on to say, "If God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith?" Okay, and then the next one, and this is part of that, they pay no pain. That's what we were talking about. But the next one, go on to the next one, Rosie. Okay. When I was, as I said, I learned this right as I had moved here and COVID had come, and we were in our apartments. And doing this in my apartment then, with the COVID coming, made, and guess what they're saying, the last disease that had caused so much death as COVID did was the Spanish flu. Well, I'm named for my father's mother and my mother's mother, my two names, and that's what the family did for a while. Okay, so I'm Mary Marguerite, father's mother, mother's mother. My dad's mother died of the Spanish flu because she had a baby when she was sick. But it wasn't in 1918 when my father would have been only 5 years old. It was in 1928. She was in one of these little communities that the Spanish flu didn't come until she that old. But I thought, oh my goodness, am I going to get this? I mean, it's my name, what's going to happen? So I don't know. Okay, by thinking God before all else, all other fruits dispatch. I think that is a very profound, if you have the welfare of the earth and the welfare of other people in mind, then you're not going to get distracted by other things that aren't as important. And that's what that verse is talking about. And the next verse is also, I think this is a verse that people here at Marist Grove follow very much. Give to others what you seek, and sow what you will reap. And people are seeking happiness and caring about each other and reaching out. And I think that's a wonderful aspect of living here in a community. And so I hope you will understand that. And so now we are going to do, poor Jim is sitting there. When is she going to stop talking? Because I came to play. Okay, Jim and everyone else, the salutation to the moon.
Abundant grace rains down upon the humble, happy poor, and comforts those who grieve and mourn, that they may mourn no more. And blessed be the lowly meek, all earth they do receive, and happy are the hungry ones who at God's table feed. And blessed are the merciful, for they receive all grace. And blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God's true face. And blessed are the peacemakers, children of God are they. And happy are the righteous folk who live in God today. Behold the birds that fill the sky, in barns they need not feed. On wings of God their wings align, surrender and receive. Behold the lilies of the field and grasses of the earth, they pay no pain for sun and rain. Each spring when they rebirth. So worry not, be happy now. Let fears all unattach. By seeking God before all else, all other fruits dispatch, and give to others what you seek, and sow what you would reap, and know that all you ask in prayer, believe and you receive.
Namaste.
The at the end is the universal creation. The sound of the creation is what that's representing. But it's also a very good, he's reminding me. The at the end is the Hindu and it's 3 syllables. And I think you're all sitting far enough away from each other that you could do it. One of the reasons I didn't say I'm going to put it in is because, frankly, you are spreading your breathing into the whole area, and if there is any sickness or anything, that's what you're going to be putting out, because that's what we have in our bodies. But it is and it's very beneficial to do it because our vocal cords, as we become older, become weaker. And so a lot of times people have trouble projecting their voices. But if you do and let your vocal cords vibrate, you are keeping them aligned and stronger. And as I said, do you want to do that?
Yes.
You do? Yeah. Okay. All right. So breathe in, and you start with your mouth shut. Wait a minute. I haven't done it, and telling other people how to do it for a long time. Oh, breathe in with your mouth open, and then go Om. So it's Om. So it's the 3 syllables, and yes, and I can hear you. Do you want to do it one more time?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
One more time. And Evie?
Oh. All right.
All right.
So, is my mic on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I'd like to invite you to come up and just join hands together in a circle, which is a very connecting one person to another, and we're just going to do some walking. So even if you feel you don't know how to do anything like that, if you walked in here, I promise you, you can do what we're doing. So I invite you to come up and join us, please. Men are invited too. Let's come up here. We're going to use this.
People that aren't going to participate?
No, we're going to use that sound.
Yeah, they can read this and sing along.
Okay. Oh, the people that are sitting. Oh, okay. Come, please. Don't stand next to me. Thank you. I'm still waiting. Okay, can you come around and connect him? Okay. We have room for a few more people.
I'm George.
Don't be afraid. You're going to be sorry afterwards. Don't stand next to each other. You just move over here. What?
She wants to hold.
Okay. So, wait, I just have a few things to say. Can you hear me? That's first of all. Let's move away from the chairs a little bit, so come back here.
We're good right here.
Yeah. And let's put our hands down first. And put your left hand out, palm up, softly. And take your right hand and place it on the person next to you. And that's how soft you want to make the contact. You're not really holding it hard, tightly. And just drop your hands now and relax. Yeah, that's all you need to do. And I'd like you to play with the idea that your feet right now are certainly confined in your shoes. But if you can play with the idea right now that they are like hands and that they have much more feeling than we ever think they do, but they do. We just keep them in shoes all the time. It's very hard to feel the earth. And just imagine that you have roots coming out of your hands/feet into the earth. And let your knees relax so they're not pulled back tight. They're just easy. And we're just easy. And you let the hands be easy down. And together we'll just take a breath in. And with that breath, just raise your arms up. Breathing in and breathing out. Almost as if you're not doing it. See if you can do nothing while you're doing it. That's a funny thing to say, right? Do nothing while you're doing it. Bring it up. Now, does anybody want to join us? As you can see how easy that is. Soft fingers, soft fingers. Okay, and the steps that we're going to do, and we'll play music in a little while, but you're going to start with your left foot, which is right under your left hand. Okay. And all you're going to do is take a step to the side, left and close, left and close. Let's all do it together. We'll all start together. Ready? 1, 2, go. Left and close, left and close, little left and close. That's all. That's the first part of the dance. And you'll have music to do it too. That's the first part. The second part, where they're going to sing the Native American words, we're just going to walk into the center and again, let your arms do nothing but float up with the steps. In, hey, no, 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 no. And feel if the other person can't go up as high, just go where they're going. Okay, and that's all there is to it, but we'll play some music. Who is playing? Yeah. And are you going to play with her, Jim? Or okay. So it is the earth is our mother. We must take care of her. That's what we do for that part. Then the other part, you go into the center. 8 in. Okay. Yeah, she's our mother. Take care of the center. Up to the heavens and down to the earth. The earth is our mother. Remember to breathe. Touch the earth. Touch the earth. Hey, hallelujah. Try not to go any further than anybody else. No. The earth is our mother. Care about the earth is our mother. Must take care of her. Up to heaven, back to the earth. Sacred ground we walk upon. Just go. Let me do it, dear. The earth is our mother. Let me do it. Let me do it. And you don't have to count. Just listen to the music. Breathe in and out. Precious earth, the mother. Take care of her. The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. Hey, Anna, ho, Anna, hey. Try not to pull anybody's arms up any more than they go. Good. Yes. Lovely. Huh? That's it. Thank you.
Wanting to do it twice.
Yes. Try not to count it. That's where you get a little mixed up. So what do we do? The music is so good. I like it. Yeah.